What's up guys, Phantom here back with episode 35 of my F1 2019 career mode as we are going to Circuit D Spa-Francorchamps for round 14 of season 2.
Qualifying time at Spa, one of the mightiest tracks on the Formula One calendar. Long straights, up and downhill, Eau Rouge as well. This track isn't for the faint-hearted. Now then, Anthony Davidson, you're not getting any younger, but you have been involved in your fair share of qualifying sessions in an illustrious 30-year career. How do you deal with the pressure when you have that one chance to deliver a perfect lap?
It's not so much about dealing with the pressure, it's more about how you approach the risk and just how much of it are you willing to take. You're constantly balancing the car on the edge of grip from braking, cornering and traction. And over the course of a lap, it's easy to get that balance wrong, and that's why achieving the perfect lap is almost impossible. As you say, I've been doing this 30 years now, and it never gets any easier.
As we start out here in Q3, as we've easily made it through Q1 and Q2 here, as we are going pretty slowly through the last chicane to give the car ahead of us some room, so we have some downforce in the middle sector here as we start our flying lap here around Belgium. As we go to La Source here, hit the apex nicely, gas up, get a little bit of understeer there. As we come to the bus stop chicane here at the final lap, final corners, we actually go a tiny bit too deep in it, compromises our turn in for the left-hander as we come across the line P2, but finish P3 behind the Mercedes. As our teammate Butler, who is not having a very good middle part of the season, is down in P9 as we'll move on to the race.
In the 48 races held at Spa between 1950 and 2015, the race winner has only started from pole position on 16 occasions. Qualifying yesterday may have set the order for today, but expect the unexpected here at the Belgian Grand Prix. As the saying goes, of course, anything can happen. And you know what? It usually does. Spa-Francorchamps then, a historic 19-corner circuit with a lap distance of 4.35 miles. There's over 100 meters of elevation change here, and with long stretches of the lap spent flat out, a good top speed will be vital for success. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Why don't we start by talking about Valtteri Bottas? That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Norris, Sebastian Vettel, and Raikkonen, Sainz, Butler, Stroll, and Charles Leclerc, Faber, Giovinazzi, Daniel Ricciardo, and Hülkenberg. Perez, they've taken a grid penalty. Russell, Daniel Kvyat, and Alexander Albon. Magnussen and a Haas rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
As we sit here on the grid in P19 at 20 as the glitches happen again, as Perez is the victim this time, as he'll be pretty much finishing dead last as the lights are out and gone. As we start here in the back because of we were going to have some engine problems here at Belgium, and this is probably one of the worst tracks you want to have be down on power at, so we decided to change everything as we were going to end up being last, pretty much guaranteed, as nobody would really have any penalties here as we move up into P18, about to take P17 from Russell, looking at Albon there as we're down the inside, but he kind of closed the door and then reopened it as we're trying to get runs here and try to get as quickly through the middle part of this group here as much as possible as we get a run on Albon to the inside of Pouon here, as we're going to look around the outside of Kvyat as we are not able to, but we are able to go side by side and take the position from Albon into P16. as we come into the bus stop chicane. We break our normal point and nearly run over Kvyat there, as Hulkenberg probably didn't expect us to be flying, as we did not even expect that, as he's kind of hit us. As you see, blue flag for Perez, who's very unfortunate that this glitch has happened here again at Belgium there. I think it's that grid slot in particular. So we are behind Ricardo here, who is right now going very slowly up Road Rouge. We actually had to lift so we can get a half decent run, as we really don't want to be pushing. We want to try to slingshot here, as it looks like Hulkenberg will also have the inside on Ricardo, and it looks like Hulkenberg has taken 14th from his teammate as we come into lap 3 here, as there is just a pile of cars as Giovinazzi has dived down the inside of everybody as we hit the back of Stroll, who was going very slowly there, as Weber's going to go defensive into this very long right-hander, as he just gives us no space, so we're going to give him absolutely no space on this left-hander. See how he likes the taste of his own medicine. As we come to the bus stop chicane here, and we're going to look down the inside of Stroll here, as we're going to try to go around the outside, as the AI do not get a very good run when they are pinched on the inside of that left-hander, as we will now go after Sainz here down the Kimmel Straight, as we come across, as it looks like everybody's just kind of parked here at the middle sector here, as we're going to try to get a run on Giovinazzi, as we could not get down the inside of him, so we try to go around the outside and perform the same move as we did on Weber, but we are not able to do so, as he is able to keep 10th position for now against us. As we come once again down at the bus stop, they brake pretty early, as we're going to come from a long way back and kind of force our way down the inside there of Giovinazzi, as he was really the AI, as he's going to look down the inside of us into La Source here, as we are able to get the run off the corner, as it just seems the AI into the bus stop aren't very good. They have no brake, especially when they're behind another car, as Giovinazzi's going to come all the way around and keeps looking around us, but we have set up our car obviously for very low downforce, as Sainz makes a move on Leclerc there, as Giovinazzi just does not have the speed to take us down the straight even with DRS, as we are coming into the pits. So we're going to look down the inside, as we have locked up on Leclerc there, but that was pretty much a waste, because we're going to come into the pits and barely by about 2 or 3 meters get under the speed limit there of 50 miles an hour as we come into the pits, and it will be a 2.5 pretty slow pit stop, as we will be P19 out of 20, as Perez again is technically a lap down. As the following lap starts here, as we pass a ton of cars in the pit lane here, as we have Weber, who's going to easily come out behind us, as Raikkonen is down the road a little bit, as Lance Stroll on the very next lap here will be out of the race, as we will see him as he is down there at La Source, as we have set the fastest lap of the race in the process here, as it looks like we're going to get out in front of Sainz there, so that's going to be a very good thing by a ton of, by about 2.5 seconds after being behind him, as we've set another fastest lap after we are chasing down Norris here at rapid succession, as Lewis Hamilton has set the fastest lap, but once again we have set another fastest lap on the last lap here, and the real question is, can we get 6th there? And it looks like we're going to run out of time, as Bottas has won the race. Verstappen has now set another fastest lap, but as we come across the line, we will set another fastest lap and we will finish 7th.
Well, I hope we can do better than that at the next race. Not our best day by any means.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. Let's have a quick look at how the drivers' standings have changed. It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Today, I think I'll give it to the Haas driver. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt maximised their potential.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Another team that will be satisfied with this Grand Prix is Alfa Romeo, whose good result moves them further up the championship. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.